What is up, guys? It is Rising Random here, back with another video, and the reason why I haven't been uploading in a little bit is just basically because of the fact I've been out of town and I couldn't actually record. And then when I came back, I just wanted to take a little short day break of just chilling in my house. So, So of course you get in the video now. So we are talking about what if Vegeta unlocked Super Saiyan 3, and I know which I think it'd probably be a pretty boring what if series because of the fact that it's so close to the actual ending of the series that we're in right now, and the fact that Super Saiyan 3 became pretty much useless by the time Super Saiyan God came in. But I think you're gonna like what I did with this. So talk about what if not Goku, what if Vegeta unlocks Super Saiyan 3. So a few things changes. Let's just say Vegeta, everything pretty much goes about the same past the Cell arc. During this time, instead of, Goku still dies, but instead of Vegeta just stopping the chain and pretty much losing his will during the whole entire, Majin Buu thing, well, not really losing his will, but not training as hard, he actually trained harder for when Goku returned so he could just mollywopp him. And during the training, he actually unlocks Super Saiyan 3. So pretty much everything goes the same. Besides Vegeta has Majin. He doesn't have Majin Vegeta in his timeline. He knows pretty comfortably he can beat Goku. So it's not even like in the back of his mind to fight Goku. So it's no Majin Vegeta in this. It is, but it isn't in a sense. What I mean by that is there is a Majin Vegeta, but he's not under Babidi control, so he doesn't fight Goku. Instead, he just pretty much kills Babidi, and there is no Majin Buu. But with the Majin mark, it changed Vegeta in this timeline. It changed Vegeta ever so slightly. He awakened his original self as per canon, but this time it never fully fades. It almost takes over. It's like a 50-50 split of how cruel he was before and how kind he is now. So instead of actually sticking around on the Earth, he instead just takes off to space. He takes a spaceship from Bulma and takes off. So Trunks in this timeline pretty much doesn't have a father. So he's never mind, I'm not even gonna make that joke. But Trunks in this timeline pretty much doesn't have a father. His father takes off. And basically Vegeta just takes off to find himself and pretty much get himself under control. Because two personalities within him are clashing. They need to find either one completely takes over or they find harmony. And he doesn't want the Earth to be caught up in that, because one of his good side is stronger than how he used to be. So he doesn't really want the Earth to be destroyed. So he takes off. He goes to a desolate little, not really asteroid. He goes to a desolate little planet that he can survive in, and he just kind of sits there and meditates for a while, for like months. And he does find harmony, but instead of being like harmony that we would want, where it's pretty much Vegeta is good and he pushed away the evil. Instead, it's the evil grew inside of him while he was by himself and nearly took over the good. But instead, the good simply not really allows it to be taken over, but it embeds itself within the evil. So pretty much Vegeta in this timeline, because of Vigilante, he has no regard for life that is evil, unlike in this current timeline where like it's like pretty much like Batman, where he more extreme than Batman, but if you do the slightest of petty crimes, Vegeta will see you as a criminal, and he doesn't care for the lives of criminals. Either you give yourself up or he kills you instantly. So he goes around to pretty much different worlds. Everyone hates Saiyans, and especially like a lot of, I can't remember the race name right now, but pretty much everyone in the universe hates Saiyans. But he doesn't have a tail. He doesn't call himself a Saiyan. No one even knows Saiyans have Super Saiyan. So he pretty much just goes around in Super Saiyan the whole entire time. As far as I know, Saiyans all have black hair, and they all have black hair, and of course they have tails. So having a blonde hair, it throws off the fact that he's a Saiyan. He doesn't even refer to himself as a Saiyan at all. He doesn't want his identity to be exposed, none of that. So for the next pretty much, I think it was 4 years between the points, he's a vigilante. I'm going to go over the 4 years, of course, and then we get back over time. We get back into the canon series and the ramifications of him being a vigilante. But Vegeta is a vigilante. He pretty much goes around different worlds. He's pretty much what Jiren is, but just by himself. He doesn't have a team, so he goes around to different worlds. And let's say, for example, there's a dictator on one world, which he's ruling the whole world. He's ruling his whole world, and pretty much he's a horrible person. He kills off his subjects without care. He's ruining their actual world. So Vegeta would go in and pretty much come to him as like a traveler, and there's like they know if they know about aliens, then they'll know that obviously they're not from our world. Even if they didn't, he's like, oh, obviously he's not from our world. So he steps in, and he would pretty much go to wherever place that he feels like is evil, or whoever the person is. He'll come up to him and be like, either you submit to me, hoping they can. He kind of hopes they can sense power in his heart, so that they could just give up. But if they don't sense power, then they pretty much never, and he just kill them instantly. Really, he wouldn't free the planet. He would just let the planet figure it out itself. But we went to a very specific stance about 4 or 5 months within his vigilante journey. He goes to a planet far, far off. Not even Frieza had touched. He lands down and he notices something. He notices that this race has tails very much like Saiyans. And they have the humanoid face, so they kind of do look like Saiyans. But their hair isn't black. Instead, it's not really gold, but it's like a off. It's like it's hard to explain, but it's like a very dark, almost mixed with like an orange type gold or a brown type gold, like goldish, golden brown. That's the best way to explain their hair. And Vegeta and their tails isn't, you could kind of say, isn't monkey like in a sense. It's more, it has stripes upon it. And Vegeta's like, I wonder what this race is. So he goes over to him. He just kind of tells him there isn't no especially evil figure he would consider it. It's like just people. It's a pretty good society, and he stays there. He's intrigued by them since they're so much like Saiyans. And he asks them, "Oh, do your tails allow you to transform like Saiyans?" And hearing that, they kind of become upset at the fact of being compared to Saiyans, even though they know they're Saiyan like. And they show Vegeta that they really don't like being compared to Saiyans. And he's like, oh, why don't you like being compared to Saiyans? He's like, well, it's a long history. How about you come walk with us and we'll just explain it through our museums. We have like one big one where it pretty much shows our entire history that we know of, and pretty much our evolution, everything. Even our evolution is known in there. And Vegeta's like, okay, let's go. He goes through, and pretty much this is a split off. Like, it's a different species, but it's a split off of Saiyans. They're consider them like cousin species or sister species, where they were once not Saiyans, but the thing that came before Saiyans. However you want to take that, but whatever came before Saiyans, that's what they were. And instead, also a bit changes that Saiyans, even before actually becoming Saiyans, had pretty much had sorry, my brain's sorry. They had space travel technology. Frieza had pretty much come into contact with them. Well, not really Frieza, but Frieza's species had come into contact with them way before. And they were brutes. They didn't care. Frieza, and it wasn't a great planet, so Frieza didn't care. Well, the Frieza race of the time didn't care about taking it over or nothing. So of course, no. But they did leave behind some spaceships, and the pre-Saiyan civilization pretty much splintered off into two. One was a group of those who thought that this technology was actually good and could be used on. Sorry, I have allergies and I'm super congested right now. But it was a split off one side of the one half of whatever came before Saiyans. I'm just gonna refer to them as Saiyans from now on. But let's call them pre-Saiyans. But one pre-Saiyan sect they embraced that technology and thought it could be good for them, while the other sect they were brutes. They didn't care about the technology, and instead they said this technology is evil. It's brought by aliens. Like, why would we ever use it? It's just a dumb idea to use it. They probably left us here to kill us all by sending us into a sun or something. And basically, the splinter off happened to be so great that it pretty much caused a civil war. But it caused a civil war, and pretty much instead of fighting, the people who embraced the technology, instead of fighting the people who didn't, they just took the technology, boarded everyone on, and left off. They had no idea how to control this technology. They thought they did, they didn't. And pretty much their whole that half of the same race gets splintered off into another planet. And they have to adapt to that planet, which then becomes, they don't call themselves Saiyans. Tell me a name for them down in the comments. But they become that species, and the Saiyans become Saiyans, of course. But they do have very similar features, but there are different ways, such as the hair, where they all have that golden brown hair, because they have that, and they pretty much have the same, very similar genes to Saiyans, but different in the sense that instead of this black hair gene being so prevalent, and it is instead more a lighter hair gene color is more prevalent along, and how the Saiyans have more lighter skin tones, if you want to consider it that. These alien species, they're closer to our sun, so they instead have more, what you could consider melanin. So they're darker. They have darker skin tones because they were originally out in the sun all the time. They had crash landed. The technology was destroyed. They were trapped on this planet. So they pretty much were back to primitive days. Well, not really primitive. They did have Frieza weapons, but they had to be out in the sun a lot, so they did evolve into having more melanin, or whatever the saying equivalent is. So they have darker skin tones, and they do have their tails, but they're striped. And instead of evolving into pure monkeys, they more evolve during full moons, which is very rare. It's like once every 100 years on this planet. They instead go to more of a tiger-like state, but it's like it's like a mix between a tiger and a monkey. It has a very strong claws, everything similar to a tiger, but it more stands upright like how the Saiyans do. So Vegeta's intrigued, and he reveals his ancestry to him, basically saying, well, Saiyans are wiped out, it's only me and a few left. I'm one of them. If you hate me, you hate me. But I feel like I should stay here and just train with you for a little bit. And if you're very similar to us, then you should be able to unlock some type of form of Super Saiyan, or wherever you would know to call it. And only one person, pretty much the whole planet, is after hearing that he's the same part, rejects him. He sounds like one person, and it's a kid. He's a orphan. He's a troublemaker orphan, and he clings to the fact that, well, it's so close and this scene is so powerful. Maybe I could be just like him since they're so close in ancestry. And so, of course, once Vegeta says, okay, I'm departing from this planet, he takes a little capsule. The kid follows him, and he says, I want to train with you. Well, I shouldn't say kid, he's like 15. So, it's a kid of sorts. But he basically, sorry, again, super congested, but they take off into the outer space, and now Vegeta actually has a companion. How this all started, by the way, was Vegeta getting Super Saiyan 3. and Majin Buu. So yeah, I told you y'all would probably like this. I did make a different type of spin to it where Vegeta having Super Saiyan 3 is the main focus. Instead, it's just a catalyst or something else bigger to happen. But I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and if you did, please hit that like and subscribe button, the like and subscribe button, and also comment down below what's your favorite Super Saiyan form, rather it be canon or non-canon, or even fan fiction wise, like Super Saiyan 10. Because honestly, I love seeing different Super Saiyan forms. So just tell me yours down below. Also, share this video to friends and family, Instagram group chats, Snapchat group chats, any type of group chat, your story, just people you think will IRL too, but people you think will just enjoy my type of content, because I would like to grow. But other than that, though, hope you guys had a great day, and it's Rising is logging off.